Welcome to Kakuma Cinema. I'm your host, Amolde Gabriel. And today we are blessed to have someone here with me, and she's going to introduce herself. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Asante. My name is Bhavya Joshi. I am a Doctor of Public Health student at University of California, Berkeley, which is in US, in California. And I am here to do my doctoral research with women on their health issues.
Thank you. You've already gone ahead before I was to come to that question. Why are you here? And is it your first time to be in Kenya or Kakuma? Tell us why you are here in Kenya.
Yes, this is my first time in Kakuma and in Kenya. I'm here, like I said, to do my doctoral research. I'm sorry, I jumped to the answer. I basically, my work focuses on women's sexual reproductive health and improving access, especially in underprivileged and marginalized communities in low and middle income countries. And so I'm here working primarily with South Sudani women refugees, trying to understand their journey and how health and make the communities and all the adolescents aware of that. And I think that's a big gap and space where we can work. There is also a space for health and hygiene. I understand that donations and funding comes in once in a while that provides sanitary napkins to women, but they are not sustainable. So they come, they go, and it's very funding dependent. And so a lot of women in the community do not have access to safe menstrual products and hygienic menstrual products. And so I think that's a space where we can do a lot of work for sure. There's also a lot of work that can be done in family planning and improving uptake of family planning services and ensuring that we can avoid and reduce unintended pregnancies as much as possible. So within the reproductive health, because that's my space of work, I think that's a big gap. Those are some big gaps that have come out, and we can definitely think of solutions in those spaces. And obviously from a broader lens in terms of health services, and there are ways in which we can improve access and service delivery of health services. Access looks for them here in Kakuma.
You came to Kenya. Do you have a boyfriend, a husband, a family friend, or do you have any organization that connected you all the way from where you came from to Kenya up to Kakuma? Can you tell us about this program, how you came up to Kakuma?
Yes, absolutely. I have a husband, but he has nothing to do with this research. I was working in collaboration with a Kenyan research organization called AMREC Kenya, and it was their very efficient team that helped and collaborated on this project with me to give me access to this community. And we had to undergo a lot of permissions, had to get a lot of permission letters to even get here. But we did manage to get them all, and we entered the community ethically, and they were a big part. AMREC Kenya was a big part in ensuring that this project was a success. And as I mentioned, my team also included 6 refugee women from the South Sudani community who then went and gathered that data that worked with AMREC as well. And it was all in all a great team.
Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit of the experience you had here, maybe the worst experience and the best moments you had?
It was a great time here in Kakuma. My favorite experience was meeting people here. I think they're just very warm, very welcoming. Everybody's just very supportive, and it feels nice to be among such a group of people, because one often sits in their, bubbles and comfortable, chairs and offices in other parts of the world, and thinks that, we are going through certain hardships. But when you come here and you see the community and all that they have endured over the last few years, and you still see them smiling and being so supportive, warm, kind, having the ability to trust others without having expectations from them, is just the most wonderful thing you'll experience here in Kakuma. And it just teaches us so much about humanity, and that there's still a lot of hope, and we will and I think this community just brings that hope out in a very beautiful way, and people like us and me, we learn a lot from it. That was one of my favorite experience here.
And your worst experience?
Worst experience. I don't think it was the worst experience. I don't think there were any worst experiences, to be honest, because I'm sitting very happy and comfortable, and I'm at the end of my journey. So if there was anything really bad that happened, then I wouldn't be so comfortable and cozy and laughing my way through this interview. So there wasn't anything bad, but I think the heat gets to you. It's really hot. The weather, it's really hot, and then it suddenly in the middle rains. I joke with my friends, I say I go to places and I bring rain and sunshine to those places. And when I was doing the training for my research study, it's funny because we were talking about, what are some of the challenges one can face on field when you're working. And one of the challenges I had listed was rain. And then we all kind of laughed and we said, it's not going to rain. Look at the weather outside. It's 40 degrees. It's so hot here. Why would it rain in the middle of such hot weather? And then 2 days later, it rains. And the whole data collection plan goes to waste because now you have 4 hours delay, and then you have to build contingency plans and whatnot. So it's really funny because the weather here is unpredictable and it is extreme. Like if it rains, it really rains, and then it ruins the roads and everything becomes inaccessible. And if it's hot, it's really hot. So there is no pleasant middle ground, I would say. So I think that for a person who is not used to this weather can be a bit too much, and one must come prepared for that.
Thank you. You've mentioned that you came here purposely to do your research on South Sudanese. Have you ever heard of South Sudan before, or did you hear it from a friend, or why did you choose only South Sudan? And there are so many other tribes that you could have done your research.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. Of course, I've heard about South Sudan. I have been following its political history ever since its independence in 2011. I have been following the kind of politics that goes around in the country. What are some of the challenges? I work on women health, so I obviously focus a bit more on that. And what are some of the challenges that women face in accessing health in the country, and what are different health indicators related to women's reproductive health that are in the country. So I've obviously kind of learned a lot about the country over the last few years before I decided to come here. Now, I was mentioning it to my colleague about an hour ago that I was initially to go to South Sudan to do my research, and we were working with partner organizations over there for about a year. And because of the conflict in Sudan last year and its impact on South Sudan as well, we had some barriers at Berkeley that did not let us, that we didn't get some permissions, which let us travel to South Sudan. So we had to come up with a backup plan, and we had to access the similar population that we were looking for through Kenya. So that's one. And then one of the reasons I wanted to do South Sudan was because it's been a humanitarian country ever since its independence. It has gone through a numerous number of crises. It has gone through political instability. It has gone through health crises like Ebola outbreaks and COVID and all of that, which the world also experienced. And so I just wanted to see when a health system undergoes so many events of crisis and continuous experiences protracted crisis, how does that impact women health? And so I particularly wanted then to look at South Sudan and that population.
Oh, thank you. South Sudan. Is there any local language that you've learned about South Sudan? Do you have any word in South Sudan that have been in their native language that they have told you or they have taught you?
That's the good question. I have just been given a name in South Sudanese language,
Okay.
and it's what Alakir. Now I'm only learning what it means very recently, but my field team that I work with are mostly all South Sudani women. They speak Nuer, Dinka, Didinga, and Arabic. And so all the data collection that was happening in these languages. I personally did not go and collect any data or information because I'm an outsider and I do not belong to the community. So I find it disrespectful personally to go and do that. So the girls from the community themselves were gathering this information, and they were speaking to all the respondents in their native languages. Yes.
The next time you come, please, we are so friendly. Make sure you go to the camp, you see for yourself how people are living there in the camp.
Yes.
So we really appreciate that.
I did go to the camp.
you
I
did
just
when?
didn't interview them.
All right.
I went to the camp. I went to Kakuma. I went to Kalaboe. Within Kakuma, I went to Hong Kong as well. We did the Arupe Center. We did, so we did a bunch of places within the camp. And I did a lot of Kalaboe. There I did village 1, village 2, village 3, all the villages. Here also I did, I think, a lot of them. I think I did village Kakuma 4. Yeah, I think Kakuma 1, 2, 3, 4, all 4 of them we ended up doing. So yeah, I've gone inside, I've experienced it, but I did not necessarily go to a woman's house and talk to her because I do not feel that my positionality fits with that.
Thank you. We understand where you're coming from. You are here in Kakuma, and maybe you are going back. Are there things that you've learned that most of the people in the camp are missing or are lacking that you personally would wish to work through for them?
Yes, there's a lot. There's a lot I'm taking back. Firstly, I think I'm not surprised, but very intrigued to learn about the high number of teenage pregnancies here and how that specifically went up during COVID and how the impacts of that continue to exist. So I think there needs to be some work done in working with adolescents and educating both girls and boys about engaging in safe sex and engaging in safe practices, and also thinking through the repercussions of teenage pregnancy because of the gender imbalances in various communities and countries. Women unfortunately undergo various challenges because of teenage pregnancy as compared to...
It might feel personal, but we are sorry for that. Personally, do you have any projects that you are going to work through with the people that you met before? Any projects that you think will help them in all the challenges that you mentioned? Yes.
Thank you for that question. It's very important, and I think that is my hope. I'm also a doctoral student myself, so I'm not a big organization that gets millions of dollars in funding. So my hope is that I can go back and in whatever little ways that I can continue to help and support the community and probably get some funding to come back and implement some projects that helps address some of these challenges I just mentioned.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm also willing to continuously communicate with my team here and ensure that I can support them with any trainings or any capacity building or capacity strengthening projects that they want to do, which is independent of any like funding or big grant project that I come with. So I see this as a long-term association, and I don't think this is limited to just a project that I can bring. There's a scholarship that is offered at University of California, Berkeley for refugees. Particularly, there is one among you who is also in Berkeley, who's my friend. He lived in Kakuma for 11 years, and 6 months back he got admitted at my university, and he moved to the US. And then there was this fellowship that now supports and funds him. So I am happy to give you a pamphlet of that fellowship. You can look it up. If you apply for education or admissions in Berkeley at any point, you can reach out to these fellowship people who can then support you with funding for your education if you get the admission.
That's the biggest part that we need as youth of Kakuma.
Yes.
Do you have any last statement to the youth that are living in Kakuma, people that have almost lost hope? Because, living in Kakuma sometimes for some people and you don't have any hope from the country that you left. Maybe your parents died and you are here alone. Maybe the condition of school is not okay. So do you have any word for them?
Yes, absolutely. Firstly, I'm very sorry for the experiences that you all had to go through. I think the strength of any community comes from within the community, and I genuinely believe that Kakuma as a community of all the nationalities that coexist here is very diverse, much diverse than many countries themselves are. And you must use and tap that diversity to improve anything that excites you within the community. So you can be excited with educational projects, media projects, health projects, but there are so many ways you can support your own community to come out of the challenges that you're going through and see something more hopeful. Because if you all, the youth of this community who are now educated, who are going to schools, if you find ways to work with one another and use this strength of diversity that exists in Kakuma, you will be able to achieve so many positive outcomes for this community and for yourself and the future of your families here in Kakuma. And we come in with a similar interest to improve health outcomes in communities, but you yourself are the strength of these communities. You have the experiences that most people don't, and so the strength that you possess can actually take you to heights. So don't lose hope, keep trying. There's so much in this world that you can go conquer. Find opportunities for yourself, get them. I know it's easier said than done. I know the processes are difficult. I'm an immigrant myself. I understand it can be challenging, but I think it is possible. So keep the hope up and collaborate with projects like these guys. So connect with projects like Kakuma Cinema. They're doing incredible work, and create many more similar projects within the community so that you can all find ways of recreation, of upskilling, of engaging with anything that you all enjoy doing here. Thank you.
It was nice talking to you.
Likewise.
We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
We are sorry in case we have sat here for a long time.
No, not at all. I have absolutely enjoyed.
You're always
this
welcome to
conversation.
Kakuma.
Thank you.
We are going to share contacts. We'll be talking.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Such a pleasure.
Thank you, our viewers. It was nice talking to one and only Bhavya, all the way from USA.
And India. I'm from India.
And she's also an Indian.
Yes.